Welcome to the Four Seasons. I'm your host Ken Johnson, and today we're doing a Southern New Year's meal. Stay tuned. Happy New Year, everybody. I've got some black-eyed peas cooking. Black-eyed peas are real simple. All you do is just take some ham bones, which I got there, a little bit of salt, black pepper, water. Just wash and rinse your black-eyed peas, your dry peas. Put them in there and put them on to boil and cook them until tender. Normally about 2 to 3 hours is what I like to cook mine to. I like mine almost falling apart. And then over here, this is the start of my collard greens. And so what we're going to do here is we've got some ham pieces, and the ham pieces are in some, I've already kind of fried them out a little bit so you see that ham oil on top. And then I've salted the water and I put in about a half tablespoon of baking soda to this water. And so everybody wants to know, how do you cook collards? Well, I'm going to show you how to cook collards. And so this is for the New Year's 2022 meal. It's Southern tradition. Greens, black-eyed peas with a dime in it, and then some type of meat. So I'm going to fry some deer meat, but once this gets up to a boil, I'll show you the next step. Today I am cheating. I am using triple washed premium Georgia grown collards from Baker Farms, and they do not pay me, but this is just a brand that I really like. I don't like having to clean my collards and cut them and everything, because you gotta wash them 3 and 4 times. They do this for you. It's a brand I trust. I've been using them now for years. It's hard to get Florida grown collards, and when you do get them, you gotta wash them. They're sandy. This is just a lot easier, but whether I'm using fresh collards or store-bought raw collards, I always freeze my collards first. The baking soda will help make it sweet. So will the frozen part, putting them in a freezer. And I apologize for noise. That is the Great Pyrenees right here. Smokey wanted to come inside. He opens the doors, but we have not trained him yet to close the doors, so I've got to go close the doors. But that is Smokey, and so we're about to put these collards on to boil. It's been about an hour. Let's check in on the greens here. You can see that vibrant green color. That's always good to have. Now we're going to they're looking good. They're getting about there. One of the things I want to talk about, greens, especially collards, need fat. So that's the reason why I was showing you all that fat on top of the water. I normally even cook a little bit with more fat than this, but I didn't have access to more fat. I'm not at my normal kitchen, but because I would have thrown in some cooking oil or something, other bacon fat. But it does have some fat in there, which is good because that helps cut through the strong flavor of the collards. But we'll let this cook for another hour, and I'll see you then. Now we got some deer meat. As you can see right here, we got some silver skin. So I'm going to take a knife, trim this up, and then I'm going to cut them into maybe finger thick steaks. So about the width of the second knuckle right here, middle knuckle. And I'll just make some little slices up, and we'll bread them and deep fat fry them. Well, pan fry them. I don't have enough oil, but I did find some olive oil. I hate to cook with olive oil. You shouldn't cook with olive oil. But that's what I got. So I put some oil into the greens to add up the oil level, and we're going to cook these. So I'll show you how this is done after I'm done trimming it up. As you can see, it was just a very light trim job. Just got that little bit right there, making sure I got everything. I did. So now we're going to cut these up into little slices. As you can see here, move my hand. So as you can see here, I'm just slicing off pieces. It helps if the meat is slightly frozen, but not quite. It makes it cut a lot better. I also want to talk something about the importance of a quality knife. Having a good quality knife is beneficial to this process. If you need a good quality knife, I ask that you consider going to Ricky Wallace Knifeworks. But in addition to having a quality knife, a sharp knife is important. So I just resharpened probably about 20 knives using my new strobe that I have, my power strobe. If when you get a chance, I'm about to drop that video in a little bit. When you get a chance, check it out because it will be a lifesaver. It saves on digits. Do not cook with a dull knife. It will cause more damage than a sharp knife. So always keep your knives sharp. Normally, when I do my breading, I like to keep it simple. I like to use self-rising flour whenever I have it, but this time I don't. So all I have is all-purpose. So I'm putting a little bit of all-purpose flour in here. When you're cooking, except for making bread, there is not anything that you're going to be doing that you can't do with self-rising. So always try to use self-rising as much as you can. Don't use all-purpose if you can get away with it. Next, I've got some garlic powder. Putting some garlic powder here. Got some black pepper. Pretty standard. Salt. Need salt. Salt amps up the taste perception. So a lot of people, when they try to go on a low salt diet, they talk about that they can't taste anything. Well, you got rid of the very thing. Sorry about that. The dog is always very excitable. Anyway, so salt, make sure that you put enough in there, because when you take salt away, you're actually taking away taste perception. Next is some ground sage. Not much, you can overpower. That's the reason why around here they don't like a lot of sage. So that's the reason why I use Badia brand. It's a more affordable, sometimes lower quality seasoning. So that way I make sure I don't overpower people with sage. I'm using some herbes de Provence. You don't have to. Herbes de Provence is just a nice French seasoning that I like to use. You can use pretty much anything, seasoned, salt. Basically, the idea is use whatever you like or you have on hand. This is Southern cooking. That's the way Southern cooks work. So I'm going to go ahead and stir this up, and then we'll go to the next step. Main thing is, if you have a plastic bag, which I don't have access to that right now, but if you had a plastic bag, that is ideal, because you can just especially those little zip top numbers you can put in a zip top bag, shake the devil out of it, and then you can go on very quickly. And bread, we're doing it Food Network style. I think they show the worst way of flouring and breading stuff. Using a pan is just so ludicrous. Just put it in a Ziploc bag, shake it up, you're done. That's something they've done, I don't know why, but anyway, next you just get you some meat, toss some meat in there, and then just stir it around. Again, if it's a zip top bag, you can just put 4 or 5 pieces at one time, shake it up, and you're done. But we're going to do it Food Network style. And I'll show you what this looks like in a minute. Okay, so they're breaded. We just take them, kind of dust them off a little bit, put them on the plate. That's all you gotta do with this. Very simple. Again, if it was in a zip top bag, you wouldn't even have to do all this. It would be 100 times easier, but we're doing it this way. So you can do it either like Food Network, or you can do it the fast, easy, effective way. Either way, it's up to you. Now we're going to do some cornbread. We're going to do a fried cornbread. So what I'm doing here, I'm putting in some. By some, I mean probably third a cup of self-raised cornmeal. And then to that, I'll be adding in, I'd say about a half cup of flour. Now let's get some milk, or half and half, or cream, whatever I find. Hold on. So I found some heavy whipping cream, so we're going to use that. I'm going to get some heavy whipping cream in there. Milk will be better. Buttermilk would even be better, but we ain't got it. Or yeah, we ain't got it. I love words. We don't have it, so I'm using what I got. I'm going to stir this in. Now I'm going to add a little egg. So good thing about cooking at the in-laws, they always have fresh cackleberries. And so this is one of the Americana, the green ones. Always crack on a surface that is flat. And there we go, 1 egg. And then that way you don't get chips of eggshell if you do it where it's cracked, or on a flat surface. If you crack it right here, you'll get chips and they'll fall in. So that's a little trick. Now we're just going to stir this up. I'm probably going to add in just a little bit of water here in just a moment. Here, I'll go ahead and get some water right now. Like that. And I'll show you what it's like when it's ready. Okay, so you want this like a really, really thick cake batter. That's important. Again, as I was saying, you should never fry in olive oil, but that's all I got. The reason for that, it's got a low smoke point, and also any benefits that you might have from the olive oil are killed off by the heat. So really you just get inferior tasting food and no health benefits. So I'm going to go ahead and put this deer meat in here and just kind of hold it away from you when you place it in the oil. And don't want to crowd them. That's the main thing. You don't want to crowd, but you want to have enough to fry without being here all day long. The idea is this is supposed to be quick and easy and very fast. So I'm going to add one more piece, and that will do it for this batch. And another thing, it's okay for your fingers to have a little flour on them. That protects your fingers when oil hits it and allows you to put the meat in. So get a little bit of flour on your fingers. It's okay. You'll be alright. You get by. The cooking process is real simple. Just take you a plate, do multiple layers of paper towel. Then once you start seeing it brown on the edges and some of the liquid coming up to the top, take some time, flip it over. Super simple. We're going to do that next. And it's good to cook on a high heat or higher heat because you see all that brown right here? That's called the Maillard reaction. That is flavor. So you want to develop as much flavor as you can while you're frying. Okay? Unlike other types of meat, deer meat requires very little cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and take this deer meat off and let it start draining. This is important that you do this. Yeah. Basically, deer meat either has to be cooked very quickly or you have to cook it forever. There is no in between. You cannot cook it like beef. And again, high heat is critical. So make sure that you got all this going. Just roll these over one good time to get rid of any excess mush that might build up. And see how the bubbles have died down while I was doing that? It was getting almost to a point of being overdone. So now we'll put some more in. Now put some more in. Helps to let it get a little bit up to temp. A lot of cooking shows, you see them, they're using too low a heat and they don't let the oil get up to temp first. Don't do that. Let your oil get hot. Give it a little time. That one takes a few minutes. It's better to do it right than to do it the wrong way and have results you're not happy with. So let the oil tell you what's going on. I've got 3 more pieces here, and that will go there. That will go there. And you'll go right there. So now we're going to let this cook. Looks like it's getting about time to flip. You can see that there's a browning on the edges. Maillard reaction is taking place. You can see that. That's beautifully brown. Perfect. Anytime you see brown on the meat or anything, that is just flavor. Anytime that looks gray means somebody don't know how to cook, and you need to send that garbage back. Alright, so now let them cook for just a few more minutes and we'll be good to go. Okay, now it's time to go ahead and flip these over one last time just to. The reason why I like doing that, there's water that will cook up. If you flip them over, that ensures that all the moisture that might have pulled up and make for a less crispy product is cooked out. I'm not trying to actually cook the meat anymore. I'm trying to get rid of the water. And it's actually forcing that residual moisture back into the meat where it belongs. So, another little trick. And just by doing that, you can tell that the cooking oil has changed dramatically. All that water now isn't going into the oil and causing this reaction. It went back into the meat. Neat little trick. Alright, now our meat is done. We're going to go ahead and fry out our cornbread. Okay, next step is I like to use 2 spoons here. Makes it a little easier, so Tasha's helping me do some of the videoing. And I'm using a small spoon to keep the size down. They'll swell up, trust me. And just again, treat it like the deer meat. You don't want to overcrowd it, but you know, you don't want to be here all day long, so put a sufficient quantity, but don't have them where they're touching. And put like 2 more right there. Maybe. Yeah. And that's that for that one. Kind of want to treat this almost like pancakes. See how, I'll show you this one right here. See how them bubbles right there are cooking through and it's getting dry on the top. And then we got one here doing the same thing. That's letting you know, and it's fluffing up. That lets you know it's getting about time to turn. So I'm going to go ahead and turn these. And they'll puff up even some more. And so, helps if you have a little turner. I don't have the type I like to use, but this works well. Again, improvising. If this tutorial teaches you nothing else, it's how to improvise. You know, everybody freaks out because things are not the way they want it. Well, guess what? That's life. What are you going to do? Not cook? You're not going to eat? Of course not. You're going to make the best out of the situation, use what you got, and move on. We're going to have a fantastic meal, and you won't even know that what we was missing. Only me, and it's only because I want it done a certain way, because I'm persnickety. We get like that. But that doesn't mean that you should just give up. And I think we give up too much in life. Just make do, overcome. It's Southern way. Okay, so this is going to be very similar to the deer process. We're just got the paper towels, and I'm just taking these off the heat now, and then I'll put some more on. And then we'll be ready to eat. Yay! And this right here is the most important part of the whole meal. Drop a link if you think you know why we drop a dime in our black-eyed peas at New Year's. Stir them up good. I'll make up a beauty plate. Yeah, the wife just informed me I said link. Drop a comment in the comment section below. Words are hard. Here we go, black-eyed peas, some deer meat, fried cornbread, and some collard greens. Happy New Year's, everybody.